My colleague Aaron. And our startup idea today is Dr. Pi, a one-stop shop for all your Python dependency needs. So many of you who don't speak geek or understand anything about software development, let me run through this basic hypothetical example to try to explain it in other terms. Say, for example, you're driving down the highway and you're trying to go to an important meeting that you have to be there on time. When all of a sudden you notice that your gas tank's on E. So what do? Naturally, you'll try to pull up into the nearest gas station and pump gas and resume on your way to that meeting. So you find a gas station, luckily, and you get out your car, and then you start to realize that the gas pump nozzle doesn't actually fit your car. So you're like, hey, what's going on here? How am I going to fix this problem? I need to get where I got to go, and I need the gas to get there. So what do? You naturally go to the gas attendant and you ask him, what's up with this? I can't even work with this. What am I to do? He's like, sorry, but we just upgraded our nozzles, and you're just going to have to work with what you got. So you can't work with it, so what do? And that's the type of problem that Python developers today are facing. Python is a programming language for various type of development needs. Like in this example, Python developers are constantly facing updates that mess up their code and their library dependencies. So they're always having to try to constantly update their syntax. So the first step in our problem validation is that, together we discuss the various issues that possibly affect these Python developers. Initially, we first thought that the biggest issue was the different version between Python 2 and Python 3. However, after conducting several interviews, we found that the real issue is the system updates and also library updates. So now that we have, most companies are forced to upgrade their OSs for system security, and those patches aren't compatible with the current. Another is due to newer libraries, where they offer new features that these developers are wanting to use. The rest of the libraries that they're either having to figure out if we want to update the rest of our, or try to find some solution to downgrade the new updated library that's been. So now that we have our problem, we're defined and we know why this problem occurs, we were ready to move on to our next step. And to talk more about that, I'll hand it over to my colleague, Aaron.
Thank you. All right, so we went into solution validation mode next. As a team, we stepped back and realized that the initial solution we were going after was actually the wrong. So we went through and brainstormed and came up with two solutions that we felt fit best for the weekend, and went back to talking to customers to figure out whether those solutions were actually going to work for them. You can see some really dark screenshots here. Really, the key takeaway from this is that what we learned from our customers is that we need to have a really solid communication plan if we're going to be fixing these things for people, and that we've got to be able to service them after the fact that we fix it. There's also some potential IP issues. And so we need to get out and test those and kind of figure out how to get past those, probably standard NDAs and legal mumbo jumbo. But the best, I think those are some of the negative things. We also learned that our language was really clear on the pages. The developers got it right away. And that we had the right feature set. It was exactly what they were after. So we nailed a couple things. So as far as what it actually is, it's three pieces. It's a community-based solution, so developers can help themselves and help each other for the DIY folks. That'll be ad-supported. You've got paid DIY tools, so smaller tools that they can pay for to help themselves, and then on the top, a full-service solution where we'll actually resolve the issues for them. That's the one where I was talking about the IP. We're focused completely on the Python niche as a starting point. This could actually scale to all developers, but we felt that because Python is the fastest growing, that's where we wanted to go. And our next steps are to continue moving forward with our team and build this out.
Can you tell me who's on your team in the background?
Yeah, so
Yeah, my name is Isaac Tavares, and I'm an entrepreneurship student here at the U of A.
Aaron Eaton, I'm a software developer by trade and a lean startup practitioner.
No. Not the squeaky.
I'm Nora Simmons. I have multiple years system administration experience and project management experience, 15 plus.
And I'm Charles Lahardy. I have about 11 years of programming experience and also about 4 years of system administration too.
Yeah, I'm Clay Ferris, and I also have about 11 years of development experience across multiple languages, including Python.
So in terms of how you're making money, that slide with the 3 circles showed there's the full service offering at the top, there's some do-it-yourself tools that can be purchased by people.
Correct.
And the community stuff is free, I'm assuming, is that right?
Yeah, ad supported, yeah.
So for the do-it-yourself tools, I mean, is that something you feel you could sell and would not get easily, once somebody buys it, distributed to everybody else for free? Number one. And number two is the comprehensive services that you're providing. Do you expect that to be your core business? And how scalable is that?
So the top full service solution is effectively like a pay-per-use service. So there wouldn't be any sharing on that. That one effectively competes with consultants and things like that, right? But the pieces underneath really support the scalability. So you've got a community that's building out, community that's helping you build the supporting tools and supporting knowledge base. They're helping each other. All of that information that they're sharing and building for each other actually supports our other tools. So the more that they help us and they help each other, they actually help our full service offering become more scalable. So it reduces the time on that.
Do you see any complementary and/or competitive situations with other folks?
For Python specifically, there's nothing at this point. There are, for other programming languages, there are a few competitors. It can be scaled out to the other ones as well. The one thing that I forgot to mention on the revenue stuff is that the middle tools that I talked about, the DIY tools, those are subscription based, so they're an annual fee, and so they'd be web based, so there wouldn't be much sharing.
And the DIY tools that they subscribe to annually, can you charge, if they put them into an application, can you charge for that? Or if they're selling the application, or can you do it on a per seat basis? Is there any way to get more product and less customer, just consulting service out of it?
Sure. Yeah, you could scale that out to set it up in a separate licensing scheme. We actually hadn't tested that yet, but that would be some of the other experiments we'd run.
Great, thanks a lot.